Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Will.
And this is Dan.
And this is the Full Thrust Podcast. And a lot of you guys that are listening to this probably missed the PulseChain sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I know you're seeing a lot of videos about it, and you're hearing a lot of things about PulseChain. It sounds pretty tasty. Right?
Tasty indeed.
Yeah, it sounded pretty delicious, like a double quarter pounder with cheese.
Ooh, extra cheese on top.
But you can't get it right now. I'm sorry. You can't get PulseChain. For one, it's not even out. And two, the sacrifice period is over. So
yes.
There were two ways primarily where you were able to get Pulse or points for PulseChain. One was donating to the Sens Foundation. And that was during the sacrifice period where you would be able to get an allocation of Pulse points for donating to the Sens Foundation, Sens Research Foundation.
Great cause.
Great cause, yeah. Longevity. And the other way was to sacrifice your coins to a specific wallet.
Right.
And you would sacrifice any of the eligible coins, and those would get you Pulse points, which would be turned into PulseChain tokens eventually. Potentially, yeah. It's a sacrifice, so you don't own those coins anymore. But those were the two primary ways that you would get PulseChain. But now, that's over. The PulseChain sacrifice period is officially over.
Right.
Now, technically speaking, Richard Hart is accepting sacrifices still. So if you're still sacrificing for the PulseChain, like if you're still sending money to that address, you will still get points. But let me tell you, it's not good.
It's a terrible rate.
Terrible. Like, just to give you context, when the PulseChain sacrifice first started, it would be $1 to every 10,000 points, PulseChain points.
Right.
Now I think it's 1 to 1.
It's probably
I think it's $1 will get you one Pulse, which is close. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. So I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. Who knows what Pulse is going to do? It could go far beyond that dollar per coin. It could, but the rate is ridiculous right now.
Right.
So you're going to ask, like, what are you doing? You guys are just like waving it in our face. You're just making fun of us. Is that what this video is? To say, hey, you can't get Pulse? No, it's not that. If you're just hearing about Pulse now, we're going to give you 4 potential strategies on how you're going to be able to get Pulse.
Right.
Like different ways you can get it. We'll just get right to the point. Not to belabor the point, we'll just get right to it. The first way is owning Ethereum.
Right.
So if you own any Ethereum in a wallet where you own the keys to, not on Voyager and not on Coinbase, so you could have a Coinbase wallet,
right,
but not on any of the exchanges, not through Robinhood. You have the keys, which means you have your own seed phrases. If you have Ethereum in that wallet, you will get a 1-to-1 airdrop of Pulse.
Right.
Meaning, if you have 1 Ethereum, you'll get 1 Pulse. If you have 300 Ethereum, you'll get 300 Pulse.
That doesn't seem like a lot of Pulse.
No, it's not. It's not a lot at all. It's not much. And gas prices on or gas fees on the PulseChain network are going to be pretty low in the beginning. Mm-hmm. You can see how low if you use the PulseChain testnet. You can use the PulseChain testnet and play around with it. So 300 Pulse may be okay if you want to do some transactions here and there, but It's not a sizable amount, right? It's not a good amount to have, but you will get Pulse.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a lot. So if you have 10,000 Ethereum, which congratulations, you're rich. If you have 10,000 Ethereum, then you'll get 10,000 Pulse. But you know how also you could have got 10,000 Pulse? Is if you sacrifice $1 on day one. Okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not making fun of you guys. I'm not trying to go on and say that you missed out. But that's the first way. I have to say it's probably not the way I would choose.
Least amount of effort.
Yeah, least amount of effort. Just own Ethereum. If you're sitting on a huge bag of Ethereum, just sit on it. You're gonna get Pulse.
Not very risky.
It's not risky. No. The second thing to do is at launch you can bridge over coins.
Right.
You could bridge over your coins to the PulseChain network and get you can swap it for PulseChain.
Right. So that would include Ethereum or possibly a stable coin like USDC. So having that value and then trading it for Pulse.
Yeah, having that value, taking those coins that you own on Ethereum, bridging them over, putting them through the bridge over to the PulseChain network, and then swapping them, swapping your wrapped Ethereum coins that you bridged over, and swapping it for PulseChain based on.
I sort of like that idea because if you have, let's say, $1,000 of USDC and you don't like the market fluctuations like they're doing right now, like maybe we're in a bear market, you can just wait till PulseChain comes out and then trade it for Pulse itself.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll get a decent amount for it.
Yeah. You might. Yeah.
You don't know.
We don't know what it's going to come out at, but yeah, I mean, right now, if you're in the crypto space right now, you know that prices are going up and down right now. It was looking pretty bleak last week.
Right.
So the best thing to do is keep your money in USDC probably because it doesn't fluctuate, or just keep the cash. Keep it in cash. Yeah. Don't keep it in your wallet or whatever. If you keep it in USDC, you're not going to experience those price fluctuations like if you were to keep it in Ethereum. So Ethereum could tank. We don't know. We don't know what's going to do in the next month or 2 months.
Right.
But we know USDC is pretty much going to stay about $1, right?
Right.
So you could leave the money in there, and then when PulseChain gets released, just keep an eye on it, and then bridge your coins over and trade it for PulseChain on the PulseX network.
Essentially, it's just having dry powder ready to go.
Yeah, having powder ready to go. Just have your powder ready, sitting. It's probably a pretty conservative way to view it. Wait for it to come out, then transfer it over, and then you get some Pulse. Get yourself some Pulse, just like mostly people are going to do. I mean, a lot of people are interested in PulseChain, and they're going to bridge over value. That's how we're going to get money into the ecosystem.
Right. That's how Pulse is going to have price discovery.
Yeah, that's how it's going to have price discovery. Yeah. So right now there is the third way.
What's the third way?
The third way is right now we're in the PulseX sacrifice phase, right? So PulseX is the decentralized exchange that's going to be on the PulseChain network. Right. That's where you can swap coins for other coins, and it's going to have its own token attached to it.
Correct.
So you sacrificing right now is that you're getting points towards the PulseX coin.
Right. On a side note, is it still early enough to sacrifice, you think?
The rate keeps going up.
Right.
You got to go on PulseX.com, and then you can see what the rate is right now. PulseX.com, and you can go to PulseX.info, right?
Right.
PulseX.info and PulseX.com. Take a look at those two websites and see what the bonding curve is, because like PulseChain, it was $1 to every 10,000. I don't know what the rate is right now.
It might be like $2 or $3.
It could be
$2
for 10,000.
Not horrible, but
it's horrible. It's a good time to get in if you choose to. I mean, if you see value in it, you can get in there. But you could sacrifice for PulseX. That's live right now, and then you could theoretically. Richard Hart has stated this plenty of times. You could take your PulseX, and then you can swap it for PulseChain on the PulseX network.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If somebody creates a pair. Which most likely they will.
That is pretty interesting because I think Richard Hart has mentioned it multiple times on streams that, yeah, you can do this. So there might be a lot of people that may go this route.
Yeah. And Grant, you're going to need a little bit of Pulse already. If you have nothing, if you have no Ethereum, you have no Pulse, you're going to need a little bit of Pulse to do this because it's going to require some gas.
That's true.
It's going to require gas to do the swap. But you can trade your PulseX for PulseChain.
Yeah, you also to that gas point, you might need Ethereum for gas, right? To do that transaction, to do the bridge.
Yeah,
not the bridge. I'm sorry. Do you need gas for that?
Yeah, you need gas for the bridge. Yeah, but that's you would need Ethereum gas.
No, I mean for the swap to Pulse.
Yeah, you would need gas. You would need
Pulse gas. Okay.
You need Pulse gas. You need PulseChain coins. You just need a little bit though.
Right.
So you may want to keep $200 or $300 worth of Ethereum in your wallet, so you get that a little bit of Pulse.
Right.
You can get a fractional amount of Pulse, and then you're gonna need it though. You're gonna need PulseChain coins a little bit just to do the swap.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So could you sacrifice for PulseChain now just to get a little bit, like maybe $1 or $2?
You could put like a $2 or $1. Just to get a little bit of Pulse, because you're gonna, if you have nothing, if you have no Ethereum coins,
right?
If you don't have any Ether, you're gonna need some, because that's how you're gonna get your PulseChain airdrop, right. Or you can sacrifice to the PulseChain sacrifice just to get a little bit of money for gas. Don't do a lot. I wouldn't do a lot. Maybe like $5-10, then you'll have gas. You'll have like 10 Pulse or 5 or 10 Pulse.
Yeah, I do want to bring up the point where a lot of people might do this, but then that may also increase the ratio. Like if you're trading PulseX for Pulse, if it's a ridiculous ratio, maybe it might not be the smartest move to make.
Yeah, I was getting to that also because we don't know what the ratio is going to be. With PulseX gets released, there's going to be a trading pair between PulseX and PulseChain. Now, we don't know what that ratio is going to be.
Right.
It could be you might be sacrificing your entire PulseX bag, which I am very bullish on,
right,
for PulseChain, and then you might wreck yourself, leaving yourself less PulseX, getting more PulseChain, but the ratios might not add up. So that's pretty risky too, if you ask me. If you want to invest in PulseChain, you still want your PulseChain and you still want your PulseX, you want your bags full. Maybe the best way is just bridging over some of that fresh powder.
Right.
I'm just giving you the way, but that is just a way you can do it. You can swap them, but we got to see. Most likely, it won't be 1-to-1.
Right.
You know,
it's funny because we'll each have our preferred strategies, but it might change if the scenario changes a bit, or the factors involved.
Yeah. So I mean that's what you could do. I mean, the fourth way.
What's the fourth way?
Fourth way is okay. So with PulseChain, you're going to get a full system state copy. Mm-hmm. Every coin that you own that's an ERC20, every coin that you own in your wallet, that are Ethereum based coins, are going to be copied over. Right. So I'm talking SHIBA, I'm talking Chainlink, Mana, Hex. Yeah. So all those coins, if you own a bag of Hex, if you own a bag of Chainlink, if you own a bag of all the different coins, those are going to get copied over, and then you're going to have your counterpart on the PulseChain network. Mm-hmm. So using the PulseX exchange again, what you could do is take those ERC20 copies and then trade them for Pulse.
Right.
Yeah. So if you have a bag of SHIBA, like 1 billion SHIBA, right, you're going to get 1 billion SHIBA on PulseChain network.
Right.
You can take that 1 billion SHIBA, Pulse SHIBA, and then you can trade it for PulseChain coins if you see fit. Now, there's a couple risks with that, though.
What are the risks?
So the one risk is that SHIBA, the whoever owns SHIBA and has admin keys to that coin, could invalidate the coins on the PulseChain network.
Oh,
yeah. Right. So they don't have to play with us or get on our plan. But this is the thing: there's going to be before the bridge opens up. There's going to be a 24 to 48 hour period where the automatic market maker bot is going to set the ratios for these coins.
Right.
So it's going to absorb the liquidity from the pool of Uniswap and all the other ones, 0x, and it's going to create these ratios. So there may be a period of time before the developers can shut you off.
Right.
Where you can swap those coins. So if you have a bag of SHIBA, you want to get rid of it. You have a bag of Chainlink, you have a bag of Mana, and you want to trade those into PulseChain because you're more bullish on PulseChain. You can do that at the start of when it's released. So just hold your ERC20s, and when you get the copy, you can dump the copies. That's
essentially what I really like about that is that the copy that you're getting on the PulseChain is essentially a free copy. So if you just want to trade that copy, you're essentially getting Pulse for free.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Or nearly free.
Yeah, nearly free. Yeah.
And then to your point on the invalidation, it's potentially whatever coin you're involved in may invalidate the PulseChain copy, but you can also trade, or you can bridge over that ERC20 copy and trade that for Pulse.
Yeah, you might
either
be able
one.
to. Yeah, depending on what coin it is. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, which is good. I mean, that's a way that you can do it. And the other thing, the potential issue with that is those ERC20s copies could be worth something.
It could be worth.
Yeah. Like you look at SHIBA, right? It was kind of like a joke, right, when it was created. But it has real money into it. There's real holders. There's a lot of holders of SHIBA. It's gotten a lot of hype, and now they're getting copies. The SHIBA community is about to get copies of their SHIBA coin on PulseChain, where they're cheaper fees. It's faster.
Right.
Like, this is perfect for SHIBA. Like, this is like the perfect platform for them to move over. So now you got people that own bags and bags of SHIBA, like trillions of SHIBA out there, and they're going to get a copy of it. All these holders of SHIBA are going to get a copy of it. Who's to say they might support the PulseChain side now? Because you can stake with your SHIBA, you can do all that stuff, And then now you're going to get a copy of it on the PulseChain network where staking is going to be cheaper, trading is going to be cheaper.
Right.
It's going to be a more fun environment, and it's the same exact coin. So I don't know about you, but I'm getting like a feeling like SHIBA might be down with Pulse. I'm thinking they'd be like, why not?
It could.
Why not double the bag?
It could. And, and the question
Same
comes
code.
up.
They own it still. Whoever
Right.
runs the SHIBA thing, whoever runs SHIBA, whoever owns the SHIBA, they own it. They're going to own both.
Right.
They own both bags. So if you're a SHIBA holder and you're one of the founders, let's say, and you have 30%, I'm just making this up. I don't know if they do or they don't. You own 30% of SHIBA on Ethereum. Now you're getting another bag of 30% on the PulseChain.
Right.
I think that's going to be pretty sweet.
I think it also brings up the point of, which version do you want to trade for Pulse? Like, are you going to trade the ERC20 or are you going to hold on to the Pulse version because you think it's going to appreciate more? But let me ask you this. My first thought on ERC20s is which coins are going to get supported. And I think probably since this is Richard Hart's project and Richard Hart created HEX, do you think that HEX is probably the smartest ERC20 copy to hold to trade for Pulse?
Yeah, no. Well, this is the thing. I think that's a question. It's a good question because HEX definitely is going to be supported on both chains because it's Richard Hart's project. It's Richard Hart's blockchain. The thing about HEX, for lack of a better term, we're going to call HEX on the Ethereum network EHEX and HEX on the PulseChain network HEX, right? That's what they want to call it. But for our purposes, we're going to call it PulseChain HEX. I think that's going to be the most slept on coin right now.
Oh.
I think that has the potential to do way more X's than all of them personally saying. I think that's going to be the one that's going to pump the hardest.
So you wouldn't want to trade that one?
I don't think so. Yeah, if you're getting a copy of HEX on the PulseChain network, I think you got to hold that. I think you got to hold and stake it. I mean, look, I'm not giving you any advice. You can do what you want, but just what HEX did, and then now we're getting another version of HEX on the PulseChain network, faster, cheaper. I mean, like if you're onboarding somebody and saying, "Hey, you should invest in HEX," right?
Right.
You tell them about it. They do their research and they say, "Cool, where, how can I do it?" When you bring it up and they say, "Where can I buy HEX?" and PulseChain's out and rocking,
right?
And there's HEX on Ethereum, where would you direct them first?
That's a good question.
I would tell them go on the PulseChain side. We got cheaper fees. It's faster. It's cleaner. It's better.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt the environment. I would say get on the PulseChain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the sleeper hit. There's a lot of attention going to PulseChain. There's a lot of attention going to PulseX. I think PulseChain HEX, that's going to be the real sleeper hit. But technically speaking, that's not what this is about. I mean, we're saying, well, how can you get more PulseChain? So technically you could take your HEX that you get for free on the PulseChain side, and then you can trade that for PulseChain coins.
Right.
So this is just ways of how you can get PulseChain.
I think the problem with that is that if I have an intention of buying HEX to trade for PulseChain, it just might be too tempting. I might have to just keep the HEX.
Yeah, I know.
You might not even want to sell it.
I love the HEX. HEX is the one that you want to keep. But those are pretty much the ways you can do it.
So let me ask you this. I know there's numerous ways. I mean, everyone has a different strategy. What's your preferred strategy right now?
Fresh powder.
Fresh powder.
That's the best way to do it. Look, I sacrifice for the PulseChain. I sacrifice for PulseX. I'm not trading $1. I'm not trading a cent or a coin, a millicoin of my PulseX.
Right.
Super bullish on that. That's a pump coin. That coin's going to pump.
Right.
With the deflationary, with the buy and burn, which may or may not happen, right? The buy and burn. It's not automatic now, but just watch what that wallet does with the fee scraping. I'm really bullish on that. I'm really bullish on PulseChain. I'm not selling either one for either one. I'm happy with my sacrifices. But what I'm doing right now is just accumulating as much money as I can in fresh powder.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to bridge it over when the bridge opens, and I'm going to buy more. Whatever dips. If PulseX dips, PulseChain dips, or if PHEX dips, or PulseChain HEX dips, I'm buying whatever one dips. I'm going hard into that one.
I think that's a great idea. It depends on what dry powder you're going to use. Yeah. Like I think USDC is the safest bet.
Cash money.
But I'm really curious to see when PulseChain does come out.
Yeah.
What's going to be the largest trading pair? Will it be HEX? Will it be PHEX? Will it be PulseX?
Is it going to be like wrapped Pulse? Is it? I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, bad. It's gonna be wrapped. EHEX
Yeah.
versus PHEX.
Yeah,
Is it gonna be Hex versus Pulse? Is it gonna be Hex versus PLX? Like, what's gonna be it's gonna be a feeding frenzy that day.
It's gonna be
the day that it comes out. It's going to be a feeding frenzy. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's
gonna be insane. People are gonna be they're gonna be trading left and right. Look, I'm gonna stay still. The only trading I'm gonna do is gonna be bringing fresh money over.
Yeah.
When the bridge opens, I'm gonna sit put because you don't know. I've been wrecked too many times trying to figure out which is gonna go up, which is gonna go down, just for a couple more X's. When in reality, I should have just been staying still. And the ERC20s, I'm just gonna hold whatever ERC20s. All my ERC20s, I'm not just invested in Hex and Pulse. I got a bag of different ERC20s, and I'm just gonna hold them through the fork and just see which one does well. I got a good feeling about SHIBA. I could be wrong. They could validate them. I have a good feeling about SHIBA. DAI, I think, is gonna be kind of cool, because there's no admin keys, but there is admin key risk. I'm just gonna hold my ERC20, see what happens.
Yeah,
I think the best thing to do is just, if you don't have Pulse, accumulate as much savings as you can. Put some money aside every week and get ready for it.
Yeah, it comes down. I mean, there's numerous strategies. It comes down to when the day this PulseChain gets released, it's really to see what coins you truly value and you don't want to give up, and then what might be undervalued. I mean, there's so many different factors. Even Hex, PHEX. If PHEX becomes a parity with Hex, that might change a lot of people's minds.
Yeah.
There's so many decisions to
let's
be made.
Let's say Hex goes to $1 by the time PulseChain is coming out, and you got, I don't know, 50,000 Hex, right? That's $50,000. And then let's say on the PulseChain side, you're getting the copy of the 50,000 Hex, and that goes to $1.
Yeah.
Now you got $100,000 sitting there from, like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think of that. Well, that's the ways that you can get them. Let us know below. Did you sacrifice for the PulseChain? Did you sacrifice for PulseChain? Did you sacrifice for PulseX? Are you interested in sacrificing? Oh.
Yeah, and guys, like we mentioned, don't be so upset if you didn't get in on the first sacrifice. You have options. There's a lot of options.
You're early. You hearing about PulseChain and PulseX and Hex, still early. So you can get in those different ways. Just you got to figure out what your risk tolerance is. Right. Let us know if you did sacrifice. And then we're just going to put this video to a close. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, comment below if you like what we had to say. If you have a strategy that we didn't cover, let us know what your strategy is. Or don't. You don't have to let us know everybody's strategy. I know people are very close knit and very secretive with their strategies. That's cool. That's cool. You should be. You shouldn't tell everybody what you're going to do. Right. I just wanted to go over a general amount of things that you could possibly do to get PulseChain if you missed out. You didn't miss out. It's early.
Right.
Don't worry about it. We got you. You're going to be all right. And just know the risk with cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency, you can lose every dollar.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and this is not financial advice. We are not financial advisors. We are not any lawyer of any kind. We are just enthusiasts that like crypto and all things cool. So
that's right.
Full thrust.
Full thrust.
We're out of here.
See ya.